What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. This video is called Wrestlers Who Ruined Their Career in One Mistake, or with one mistake. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
The wrestlers in this video all made one mistake that destroyed their careers, and for one wrestler, it actually led to him becoming homeless.
Dang.
Mr. Kennedy is the textbook definition of what could have been. He debuted in 2005, with WWE having major plans for him. He won the United States Championship and became Mr. Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 23. After the victory, Kennedy announced he'd cash in at next year's WrestleMania, but unfortunately, that wouldn't happen. Shortly after winning, Kennedy suffered a legit injury and had the Money in the Bank briefcase taken away as a result. Kennedy was then supposed to be involved in a major storyline where he'd be the illegitimate son of Vince McMahon. However, 5 days before it was set to happen, Kennedy got suspended for violating WWE's wellness policy. This certainly hurt Mr. Kennedy's reputation internally, but he likely could have worked his way back up given how much WWE had planned for Kennedy so early in his career. However,
shout out and RIP to Randy Savage. Remember when this happened? This was crazy. When the whole wellness policy thing that happened to Mr. Kennedy, this man, right after the whole situation happened with Chris Benoit and his family, the unfortunate situation of that, this guy was on CNN with a couple of other wrestlers. I think it was Chris Jericho and some other people advocating against taking steroids, and then lied and said that he's never taken steroids in his life, to soon find out that he's actually been taking steroids and on steroids while he was on CNN saying that. That is crazy. Like, it's like a pastor telling people, oh, you got to chill out, stop doing drugs, stop messing with the prostitutes. And all of a sudden, he got a bunch of OnlyFans models in his office and that powdered sugar that sends you on the highway on his desk. I'm not going to say what it's called because I don't want to get blocked on YouTube. But you know what I'm saying. I would have just been like, hey, Vince McMahon, I had some bad chili last night. You know, the chocolate river is flowing. So maybe I'll do it on MSNBC at some point in the future. Maybe I'll go into some other news network, but I can't go up there and do this right now or something. I mean, if you're going to lie to get into it, then why not lie to get out of it? Like, it's crazy. And I get that people make, decisions that don't make sense when it comes to common sense, especially when they're in fear of their career. But come on, man. If you know you're doing it, bro, why? Doesn't make any sense.
One particular moment led to Kennedy's WWE career coming to an abrupt end. In 2009, Mr. Kennedy made his return to WWE after recovering from a shoulder injury. In his first match back, Kennedy competed in a 10-man tag team match. One of Mr. Kennedy's opponents was Randy Orton, and at one point, the two were the legal men. Kennedy went to hit Orton with a backdrop, but the move was botched, and the Viper landed on his head and neck. Randy was upset about this, saying it could have ended his career. According to Mr. Kennedy, Orton complained about the botched move and used his authority to fire Kennedy. Then, 4 days after the incident, Mr. Kennedy was let go from WWE. While Kennedy did find success in other companies, he was never welcomed back in any capacity to WWE. You could argue that Kennedy's firing was justified, but this next wrestler was fired simply because of who his tag team partner was.
After doing the whole thing with the wellness policy, he was kind of skating on thin ice, which is kind of interesting that they let him back after all of that. But one thing that you need to know, this is the cardinal rule when it came to WWE, especially at that time. Do not botch around Randy Orton because he will get you fired, okay? He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but he is one of the greatest snitches of all time, okay? I don't know how those two mix together, but he will get you out of the building. He will take food out of your kid's mouth if you botch him or botch around him. And that's one thing I didn't really care too much about when it came to Randy Orton. In some situations, like landing on your neck and head, okay, I can get it, but this guy, he presses the issue of getting you out of there. So I want to know how many people he got fired.
Rory McAllister made their wrestling debut in 2001. 5 years later, the two made their debut in WWE as the Highlanders. The two had a steady career and were number one contenders for the tag team championship multiple times. However, one mistake would ruin their careers. WrestleMania 24 emanated from Orlando, Florida, the same place where WWE's rival, TNA Wrestling, filmed their show. The WWE roster was in town for the weekend, so, since he had some free time, Robbie McAllister decided to enjoy a TNA show. The TNA camera crew saw that a WWE wrestler was in their crowd and decided to show him on live TV using
TNA is dirty for that. Why would they do this? That's messed up, bro. That is messed up.
Robbie McAllister's real name. Shortly after, McAllister got a call from WWE and was ordered to leave. Once Robbie got back to the hotel where all the wrestlers were staying, the roster berated him, especially The Undertaker and Finlay. Unfortunately, that was not the end of it, and both Robbie and Rory got punished. Robbie was taken off WrestleMania and lost a $5,000 payday. Rory did absolutely nothing, but wasn't used for months, which hurt his wallet since WWE wrestlers make more money when they wrestle. Robbie was still used, but lost every match he was in, that sometimes would last last just barely a minute. The two were eventually fired roughly 5 months after the incident. While the Highlanders did continue to wrestle on the independent circuit, they have never been welcomed back or even acknowledged by WWE. If the incident with the Highlanders sounded insane, this next wrestler was fired for saying one word.
Bro, I swear if I lost bands because one of my friends did something dumb and they wanted to go watch a live show when they could have watched it on TV. Oh yeah, we fighting every day. Every morning we get up, we eat our Cheerios, we going outside and we boxing, bro. Because that you just took food out of my kid's mouth. That is my future there. And I'm losing my job because you went to go watch TNA in person. Like, how you gonna work for FedEx and then go sit around and watch a UPS training? Like that, what is the point of that? And then TNA is dirty on top of that because they put the camera on the man, ensuring that this man will get fired. I don't see the point of that even happening. That's dirty, bro. TNA had to know. That's crazy.
Brad Maddox's WWE career was unusual. He made his debut in 2012 as a referee. Despite this, Maddox would soon become the center of attention when he interfered during a WWE Championship match. Following this, Brad Maddox eventually became the general manager of Raw and held that role for nearly a year. He would make sporadic appearances on WWE TV until abruptly being fired. In November 2015, Maddox returned after being absent for 7 months. 8 days later, Brad Maddox was wrestling in a non-televised match and had to talk on the mic. Maddox was a heel, or bad guy, so he insulted the crowd to get them riled up. However, the former Raw GM referred to the fans as pricks. He didn't feel that was inappropriate, but WWE management disagreed. Maddox was fired almost immediately after the match and was never given an opportunity to explain himself. Maddox only wrestled once after his exit from WWE, and the company has practically ignored that he was ever a part of their roster. While it's easy to feel sympathy for Brad Maddox, it's impossible to feel that way for Juventud Guerrera. After starting his career in Mexico, Juventud rose to prominence when he joined WCW in the mid-90s. However, he was fired after about 4 years with the company when he got intoxicated during a tour of Australia and was arrested. Juventud Guerrera would return to Mexico, but in 2005, he got an opportunity with WWE. Juventud was reportedly difficult to work with and had an ego problem. It was said that he would wear sunglasses backstage and refer to himself in the third person. While that didn't get him fired, one decision did. On the January 6, 2006 episode of SmackDown, Guerrera fought the Cruiserweight champion, Kid Cash. Juventud was told not to perform high-flying moves, but he did anyway. He also hit Kid Cash for real and didn't cooperate with his opponent, making it harder for Cash to perform moves. If that wasn't bad enough, Juventud Guerrera also performed a banned WWE move, the 450 Splash. Ironically, the reason the move was banned was because of Juventud accidentally injuring an opponent with it several months earlier. While Juventud Guerrera didn't injure Kid Cash, it didn't matter. The same day Guerrera and Cash's match aired, WWE fired the Luchador, and the two sides haven't worked together since then. Another Luchador.
Yeah, I got no sympathy for you, bro. You asked for that. Bro, you tried your hardest to get fired over and over and over. And speaking of that, we got Sexy Star right here. Now, this is some crazy stuff. I'm gonna let them explain this to you, but this does not make any sense.
Not only get fired, but was canceled by the entire wrestling community for what she did. Born in Monterrey, Mexico, Sexy Star got into professional wrestling at the age of 23. Her career continued to grow, and Sexy Star's popularity only got bigger when she joined Lucha Underground in 2014.
Oh my god, dude, I miss Lucha Underground so much, man. If you never watched Lucha Underground, at least watch the match between Rey Mysterio and Ricochet. He was Prince Puma at that time. That match is amazing. But Lucha Underground was just like one of my, like, I guess, guilty pleasures, but I also love to watch it. You know, people came from there that you guys watch now. I mean, Karen Cross was there. So many other people. But yeah, Sonny Kiss was there too, I think. Yeah, Sonny Kiss was there.
However, in 2017, the masked luchador would destroy her career with one decision. In August of that year, the Mexican wrestling company AAA was hosting its biggest event of the year, Triple Mania. Sexy Star was on the show and competed in a fatal four-way match. One of the three other women Sexy Star was wrestling was named Rosemary. The finish of the match saw Sexy Star lock in an armbar on Rosemary, who tapped out. However, Sexy Star held the armbar in for several more seconds, which wasn't supposed to happen. Ridiculous. This unscripted attack caused Rosemary to suffer strained triceps and biceps. Fans, as well as fellow wrestlers, lashed out at Sexy Star, with Cody Rhodes even saying he would never share a locker room with her. Sexy Star responded, saying she didn't intentionally hurt Rosemary, but the damage is done. AAA stripped Sexy Star of her title, and she's kicked out of the company, with other promotions also parting ways with her. While Star has continued to wrestle, she hasn't been able to achieve the same level of success. While most would say Sexy Star deserved what happened to her, it's debatable if what happened to this next talent was just or not.
There's a new Sexy Star though. So there's a new person that goes under the name Sexy Star, but I don't understand. I still don't understand that she came out and said, I didn't mean to hurt this person. You tried to yank the woman's arm out of her socket. How do you not try to hurt her? You basically put the gun in her face and it said, hey, I'm about to kill you right now. Pull the trigger and then tell the judge, hey, I didn't think she would die. I didn't think the gun was going to kill her. Like, come on, bro. Like, that is just crazy.
Abraham Washington, or AW, is a WWE talent you may not have ever heard of, and WWE would like to keep it that way. AW debuted in 2009, hosting a segment on ECW.
Oh, the waves are flicking, boy!
He would interview wrestlers until ECW came to
an
an
end
end
like Beijing
in
a little bit.
2010. In April 2012, Abraham Washington returned, now just being called AW. He was scouting talent to manage, and he eventually settled on Titus O'Neil.
This mug went from looking like a young Usher Raymond to looking like LeVar Ball, bro. This is crazy.
And Darren Young, the primetime players.
Primetime players.
Until AW made one mistake that cost him his career. On the July 30th, 2012 episode of Raw, Titus O'Neil was in a singles match against Kofi Kingston. AW would always be
this dude is
during
crazy.
primetime players matches, and this one was no exception. However, AW took things too far when he said this.
Titus O'Neil is like Kobe Bryant at a hotel in Colorado. He's unstoppable.
Jeez, man.
AW was referencing assault allegations made against NBA basketball player Kobe Bryant in 2003. This was not a thing to joke about, and WWE even made Michael Cole apologize after they returned from a commercial break.
We would like to apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the remarks made by AW moments ago.
11 days after this incident, AW was fired from WWE. Now, AW would later claim that the reason he got fired was that he tweeted his support for Linda McMahon's U.S. Senate campaign, and she wanted to distance herself from wrestling. WWE responded by saying it had nothing to do with AW's political support and was solely because of his inappropriate comment on Raw. Nevertheless, AW only made things worse by venting his frustrations with WWE on Twitter. Since then, AW has never been invited back to WWE and has mostly disappeared from wrestling. While AW likely wasn't going to be a major star, this next wrestler could have been, if not forgetting, in his own way. In 2012, Austin Aries was one of the hottest talents in wrestling. Aries won the TNA Impact World Championship, and it seemed like he was on his way to becoming one of the greatest of all time. In 2016, Aries would make his WWE debut, giving him the largest platform he had ever been on. However, about a year after joining the company, WWE released Aries from his contract. A-Double returned to TNA, where he won their world title 2 more times, but one decision ruined his career. At the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, Austin Aries defended his title in the main event against Johnny Impact, aka John Morrison. Johnny performed his finisher, Starship Pain, and won the match. However, Austin Aries almost immediately got up and didn't sell the move. Aries then started yelling at the commentators and the crowd.
There's your business. You happy? You happy? Good. Shoot that motherfucker.
Now, it's been debated whether this was part of the script or if Austin Aries really went off on his own. What isn't, though, is that Austin Aries would leave TNA following this incident. Since then, Austin Aries hasn't worked with any major wrestling company and has been relegated to working in front of smaller crowds. At least, though, Aries still has a roof over his head. This next wrestler did not. Perry Saturn did not make his WWE debut in the best position due to WWE's prejudice against wrestlers who came from their competitor, WCW. However, it was lack of judgment that would completely ruin any chance Saturn had at becoming a top star. In 2001, Saturn fought against an enhancement talent named Mike Bell. What should have been a forgettable match turned into the downfall of Perry Saturn's career. Early in the match, Mike Bell botched an arm drag, causing Perry to land on his head. The scripted wrestling match quickly turned into a real fight, with Saturn connecting with real blows. Then, things turned ugly. Perry Saturn threw his opponent outside the ring, causing Mike Bell to land on his head. The move could have easily caused permanent damage to Bell, and while it didn't, it did ruin Perry Saturn's career. Almost immediately after the incident, Perry Saturn would be involved in a storyline that saw him fall in love with a mob. Following this, Saturn's career began to suffer more and more until he was eventually released in 2002. Unfortunately, it didn't stop there. Perry Saturn continued to wrestle outside of WWE, but developed a drug addiction after being shot in the neck while saving a woman from 2 men. The addiction consumed Saturn's life, and he became homeless.
Wait, that's Perry Saturn? And you got the Mike Tyson tattoo? Hold on, that can't be Perry Saturn. No way.
Perry Saturn continued to wrestle outside of WWE, but developed a drug addiction after being shot in the neck while saving a woman.
Yeah, that's him. Same tattoo.
The addiction consumed Saturn's life, and he became homeless. He spent 2.5 years in the streets until finally overcoming his demons. While Perry Saturn never had another major run in wrestling, he competed in a few matches after getting back on his feet. One of Eddie Guerrero's daughters was disowned by her family. To learn about that, watch this video.
Yeah, I think I did a video about that whole situation months ago. I think I did it like actually a year ago. That's crazy. But Yeah, that Perry Saturn situation, man, like your temper in the moment can ruin your entire career. And Perry Saturn is a great example of that. But I'm glad I think he got back on his feet and he's doing better now. I hope, so hopefully that is the case. I mean, everybody do make mistakes, but some mistakes, can ruin a lot of things for you. Like when Titus O'Neil grabbed Vince McMahon to allow Stephanie McMahon to walk in front of him, and that got him in a lot of trouble, almost got him fired too. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Which one is the most craziest situation you've ever seen? Is there other situations they did not list in this video? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace, have a good day.